Hey guys, in today's video, we are going to be Zillow surfing Roseanne Connor's house. Roseanne and Dan Connor's house from the television show Roseanne that ran from the late 80s into the 90s. I believe it ran about 9 seasons. And we've covered a lot of TV houses on this channel. We covered the Ferris Bueller's Day Off house, Cameron Fry's house. I believe we've covered the Home Alone house, Walter White's house from Breaking Bad, the Shameless house. If you have any other shows from television shows or movies that are kind of iconic that you'd like us to cover, drop a comment down below. Let us know. We'll cover them in a video. A lot of times these homes aren't for sale, so we can't actually see photos. Although this property sold in April of 2024, and we still got 30 Zillow photos of the home still up. I think one thing that's very interesting, if you go look at, some Google images for the Roseanne house, the house looks very blue collar. I don't want to say run down, but it just doesn't show nearly like these photos. I mean, once we get to these photos, look at the front porch, look at the interior. It doesn't give you any of the vibes that the television show Roseanne did. And so I think it goes to show how much some new siding and curb appeal can do for a house's look, as well as how much good, a fresh coat of paint on the inside and maybe some better interior design, better furniture, not crowding up the space, how much that can improve the look of the inside of a home. And I think this is important for young people, millennials and Gen Zers, who oftentimes, they realize how unaffordable housing is right now, but they also kind of want that dream home. They want that HGTV home. And, if you can get a house with good bones, but has some ugly carpet, some ugly paint, some bad kitchen cabinets, some bad countertops, it doesn't take that, everything's expensive nowadays, but in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't take that much money to really give one of these homes a facelift. But I can ramble while you guys are looking at photos. Let's talk a little bit about this property. This property is at 619 South Runnymeade Avenue in Evansville, Indiana. It was, like most shows, only used to establish exterior shots. The actual show was filmed on a soundstage in Los Angeles, and the set was designed to reflect a modest working-class home. Why Evansville, Indiana? Roseanne Barr chose Evansville because it reflected the show's blue-collar Midwestern tone. And also, I believe the creator of the show was actually from Evansville, Indiana. Obviously, what's his name? Roseanne. Dan Connor was a big Bears fan. There's a lot of references to like Chicago and Illinois, and the show actually took place in Lanford, Illinois. Lanford is and you're looking at the home right now. Lanford is a fictional town. A lot of people argue what Lanford is supposed to be. I always thought it was, pulling a location kind of out of my butt. I always thought maybe like Kankakee, Illinois. Really could be any number of kind of small towns that are like close enough to Chicago to still kind of identify with Chicago, be a Chicago sports fan. I think at times in the show, the kids went into the city for the weekend to go to a rock club or something and got themselves into some trouble. So close enough to have some ties to Chicago, but not really in Chicago. Definitely smaller town. Kankakee always seemed like one to me, although I was looking at some discussions online, and a lot of people seem to think it was like by like DeKalb, Illinois, where Northern Illinois University is, maybe Sycamore, Illinois. That's where a lot of people think that the show maybe took place. Before we talk a little bit about the show, I've mentioned this in a couple other videos, but I always wondered, like, how do TV producers or the creator of a show, how do they decide to just pick some random house that these characters are going to live in? That's kind of the exterior of the house, but none of the show actually gets filmed at the house. Apparently there are not talent scouts, there's location scouts who I guess kind of know what the show is, know the vibe of the show, and it's their job to kind of drive around different cities, different areas, and find locations that they think would be suitable for the show. Now, just because the show is set in Chicago doesn't mean the house has to actually be in Chicago. In this example, the home's actually in Evansville, Indiana. Similar vibes, it's both Midwest. I talked about the Family Matters house from the television show Family Matters, Carl Winslow's house. That one's actually in Bucktown, even though the show was supposed to take place on the south side of Chicago. So really, they just want to get a vibe. I mean, you could have a house in Pittsburgh, and they're telling you that the house is located in Chicago. But more often than not, it's probably going to be relatively close. Let's talk about the television show Roseanne. It started on October 18th, 1988. It aired on ABC. It ran 9 seasons from 1988 to 1997. Returned for a season 10 in 2018. Quickly became a top-rated show, but was canceled due to some controversy about Roseanne. And the show was, We kind of talked about this with Married with Children in an era when all the shows really kind of glamorized family life and kind of showed wealthy families and kind of an idealized portrayal of the average American lifestyle and things like that. This is like a working class home. They deal with real life issues like unemployment, healthcare, domestic abuse, domestic struggles, politics. The show was regularly praised for its acting, especially with John Goodman and Roseanne Barr. It won Emmy Awards, Golden Globes, and Peabody Awards. It was one of the first television shows to feature a non-glamorized family, and they also were kind of a groundbreaking show with depicting LGBT characters and aired one of the first same-sex kisses. So all that out of the way, let's look at the property. This one, we'll see what it sold for. The estimate's $241,000, 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2,360 square feet. It's located at 619 Runnymeade Avenue in Evansville, Indiana. Evansville, Indiana is southern Illinois, almost down by Kentucky. Let's take a look at the property history. What do we got here? Built in 1925, 5,227 square foot lot. Looking at the property history, let's see. So this one, back in 2008, which was kind of right when the housing crisis was starting, sold for 126, or was listed for 126,000. Had a couple price drops. Wow, they removed a listing. They dropped the price as low as $79,000 in 2008. Again, that's when everything was crashing. It sold for $124,000 in 2009. It was listed for sale a few years later in 2013 for $129,000. Eventually sold in 2013 for $129,000. Was listed in 2024 for $225,000. And wound up selling for $230,000. Let's look at property taxes. $2,328. Property taxes are a lot more reasonable in Indiana than Illinois. If this was in Illinois, even being like up by DeKalb or something like that, you'd probably be looking at $5,000+ property taxes. Let's read a little bit about the house. What's unique about this house? Privacy fence, overhead door, new carpet, new motor. I'm guessing that refers to the garage door opener. Service door. You may recognize the front of this house. It is one of the most famous homes in Evansville, and it is for sale. The front exterior of this home was used in the show Roseanne. Just a block from the University of Evansville, this home offers a lot of room, a total of 4 bedrooms and 2 baths. Laundry is on the main level, 2-car detached garage with overhead door on the back of it, and a service door and window on the front of the garage. Privacy fence around the back, roof less than 3 years old. AC has a new motor. Okay, so a new AC motor. 4 years ago, basement waterproofing in 2022. House was freshly painted February 2024. New carpet March of 2024, and house is sold as is. Now, I've talked about this in other videos. Would you want to live in a television house? Like, if it's like a unique home that's set in a remote location, okay, cool. Nobody's really going to come look at it, right? If it's just like an amazing home, because some TV shows do feature amazing homes, okay. But to live in just kind of a run-of-the-mill house, I don't know. To me, it kind of seems like you're giving up some privacy. I would be, I don't know if annoyed is the right word, but it would definitely kind of like, I don't know, it would just kind of irk me if people were like driving by, getting out, looking at my home. And I think most people kind of feel the same way. There's a lot of like funny articles and even Reddit posts about how, especially like millennials and younger, they're not used to people dropping in or popping by like people used to do back in the day. So like, I don't, Google it, look at a Reddit post, there'll be articles like millennials literally have a nervous breakdown if somebody unexpectedly knocks on their door. Like ruins their day, it ruins their week, it ruins their month. They lose their minds. It's really kind of crazy. But if people had people pulling up outside of their home to take pictures or even worse, walk around their property, I think people may lose it. But again, I feel like you're kind of giving up some privacy, giving up some anonymity. If I'm sitting on my front porch or mowing the front lawn, I don't really want people like gawking at my house or coming to ask me questions about it, to be quite honest. But that's just me. Let me know if you guys think that would be cool to live in a house that was from a television show or a movie. So we got the front of the house. I think they've got new siding, kind of polished up the bricks, probably a new front door. When we looked at the Married with Children house the other day, nothing had been changed about the house. I think they had 2 new lights above the garage, but that was it. Really, really nice covered front porch. Love that. I know a lot of people are going to complain about the millennial gray or the flipper gray, but I kind of like the gray with the white trim and stuff. It really kind of pops. We got crown molding on the roof, nice wood floors. Really open space. Obviously, in Roseanne, they had furniture all over, couches all over. They had the couch with the Afghans on it. Fairly big kitchen. Plenty of counter space, but yeah, I mean, the home looks so much bigger than it did in the television show Roseanne. It looks like they've obviously spruced it up, painted it. It's much lighter, it's much brighter, there's much less clutter. We got long windows here. It looks like this is probably a bedroom, but big windows. Dig that. You know, bathroom. Some of this stuff's like a little dated. That's kind of like 90s, like builder grade bathroom vanity, you know, kind of same with the tiles. So nothing super special here, but nice enough bathroom. It's kind of interesting. We got the washer and dryer in the master bathroom. It looks like we got a big soaking tub or jacuzzi. That's kind of cool. You know what would be kind of annoying about this? Like, if you had kids or if you were a bigger family, like everyone's having to come into the master bedroom to do laundry. So if your kids need to do laundry late one night before school and you're trying to sleep, like they're having to come through your bedroom to do laundry. It looks like another bedroom here, another bedroom, or same bedroom there, another bedroom here, another bathroom, a little bit more modern. Okay, we got a basement. I think, didn't Darlene's boyfriend live in the basement in the show Roseanne? Tiled basement, so if it floods, it's not going to be a huge, huge issue. Basement's actually pretty nice. This looks like we got the, looks like there's maybe an alley. We got the garage backing up to the alley here. Good sized 2-car garage. You know, overall a pretty cool property. What do you guys think about this one? What do you guys think about the show Roseanne? Were you a fan of the show? Were you not? Again, this property, $241,600 is his estimate. 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 2,360 square feet, and it's located at 619 Runnymeade Avenue in Evansville, Indiana. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the channel and you want to see more Zillow surfing videos, the most expensive houses in different cities and states, unique homes, homes from television shows and movies, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below and ring the bell. As always, thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.